Hello everyone, welcome back to the Great Edge Workshop. A few videos coming for you in short succession, both with electrical focus and knife sharpening focus. Tonight starting with an electrical one. So filming this in January, we just come through the Christmas season, and one of the things keeping me busy during the month of December was oven repairs. Everyone's got holiday, oven and appliance repairs, I'll say, and I'm going to touch on a couple of other issues that I came across. But holiday season, people are thinking about hosting, and then the prospect of hosting means cooking a big dinner, and the prospect of cooking a big dinner makes your oven just about the most essential piece of equipment in the kitchen, and plenty of calls from very stressed people wondering if they were going to be having to rush out and buy themselves a new oven just before Christmas time, or whether it was possible to make a repair. Unfortunately, everybody that I did undertake a repair with was able to have some success, including switching customers' oven on, getting it going for them again 5 p.m. on Christmas Eve, with the guests due the following day. So definitely chalk that one up to success, but chalk that one up to one for the win column. I'm pleased about that. Now, the scenario when a customer calls about an oven trip, I hear almost exactly the same story every time, which is that the electrics tripped, the kitchen circuit in some fashion tripped. I reset it. It was able to reset, but now when I heat up my oven, it powers on, but it doesn't get hot. And I've got an explanation for that, and I'm able to show you how that works. But first, I want to explain. Here I have a brand new oven element to explain the principle of how these works, and the basic test that you can do to show whether an oven element is functional. So, with electrics, one of the founding principles, if you like, is Ohm's law, which can be expressed as volts equals current times resistance. Or if we re-express that, so take this same equation but re-express it to current in amps, and I'm just reorganizing this formula here, volts divided by resistance. Okay, nothing earth-shattering there, certainly nothing that I've invented. But another relevant equation is that power, I'm going to convert directly to units here, so this should be P, but I'm using W for watts, is equal to volts times the current in amps. And in order to do some basic testing on an oven element and understand whether it's working correctly or as per specified, want to be able to calculate watts based simply on the resistance that you can measure. And I'm going to show you that in a moment. Well, we can easily do that with these formulas that I've laid out. So if we know that watts is equal to volts times current, and current is equal to volts divided by resistance, then we can re-express this formula as watts equals volts times volts over resistance. And doing that again, re-expressing it, we have watts is equal to volts squared divided by resistance. And the handy thing about this is that volts, for wherever you are, whether you're in the UK, in the US, or anywhere in the world, you have a nominal voltage rating for the electrical supply to the property. In the case of the UK, that's 230 volts. 230 volts. So the wattage produced by any oven element is going to be 230 squared divided by the resistance that we measure. And because it's always going to be 230 squared, we know that watts equals 52,900, because, well, that's the multimeter going to sleep, but I'm going to be using that in a moment. 230 times 230 gives you that 52,900. So anytime I'm working on the wattage of an oven element, it's going to be 52,900 divided by the resistance that I can measure. And so if I take, here still with a tag on it, so a brand new oven element, and if I measure the resistance across the two terminals, which is essentially the resistance of the path going around the element, in this case I get 32.5 ohms. And if I do 52,900 divided by 32.5, we get just over 1,600 watts, or 1.6 kilowatts. So this oven element, brand new, or at least never been used before, is a 1,600 watt oven element, and that's the heat, based on the test we've just done, that's the heat that it's going to produce if 230 volts is applied across these terminals. Wake that up again. Now, when you get someone who contacts you to say the scenario that I presented, which is that the oven element has the oven tripped it switched it on, the oven tripped the power. When I reset the breaker, the oven still has power to it, but now it's not producing any more heat, and that's because the oven element has blown. And here's one that I've removed from a customer's house in December. And if I do that same measurement, so here with the probes apart, they're reading open circuit, and if I bring them together, they'll read 0 ohms, or near enough to exactly 0 ohms, because I know the leads. And if I make the same measurement with a blown element, there you can see open circuit. And sometimes when you are poke your head into the oven, remove the cover, you can see visually some visual cues that it's blown. And I don't know whether the camera is going to pick it up, the bulge here. So this is one that's physically blown. It's bulged out, and now it's open circuit between these two terminals, which means there's no current that can flow across these. Or to express it another way, it's practically infinite resistance in this formula. So 52,900 divided by infinity is going to be an extremely low wattage, which explains why the customer's oven is no longer getting hot. So when somebody makes the call describing the scenario that I mentioned, pull the oven forward, get access to these terminals, and measure the resistance across there. And a lot of the times, that's what you're going to see is open circuit. And usually there's a physical deformity. Here's one that I came across. Here's another really nice example. Not hard to spot the bulge on this one. So this is a grill element, and actually with this one, the customer was able to use part of it. So if we measure the outer circuit, which is the one that's quite deformed. I appreciate the text is quite small, but this is mega ohms here. So we got 123, 124, and climbing million ohms. So again, back to the formula, that's going to be practically 0 watts that it's producing. On the inner ring of the grill element, we have something a little bit more normal. So 35 ohms now. So it's going to be similar to the brand new element that I mentioned. So 1.4, 1.5 kilowatts, something like this. But this was one and people often do. The customer had a particular setting with their oven that they always used. The particular setting that they favored only used this outer element, and so they phoned me saying my oven isn't getting hot anymore. I tested that defect and said, yeah, sure enough, the outer one isn't working. This one was perfectly fine, so they could have actually used just the inner element with a different oven setting, but I think nobody really likes to be compromised in the way that they use their oven. So the customer asked for a change, and we went forward with that. Here is a particularly tricky one. I appreciate that it looks exactly the same as the other ones, but this was a customer that reported when the oven when they switched the cooker on, partway through heating the oven or the cooker up, the electrics trip. They can reset it. It trips again a couple moments later while the oven's heating up. But then once it reaches its set point, it seems to stabilize, and the electrics doesn't trip anymore. And I went to see them the following morning after receiving this call. Did my usual set of checks all through the oven, looking for sources of leakage to earth, and found with this element, we've got a very normal 25 ohms. So that's going to be in the region of 2 kilowatts, 2,000 watts, 52, divided by 25-ish. I thought, okay, well, that can't be this element, and it can't be anything else on the all the other elements tested the same, the entire oven unit itself. So I moved on to other things and found some, not the proverbial smoking gun, but some other suspects. So I said, okay, well, few signs of weakness in the circuitry around the kitchen, and it's probably a cumulative effect of a few minor deviations. But I got called back again saying it's definitely the oven. It's every time that we switch the oven on. And sure enough, the second time that I attended the property, I isolated everything. So electrically, we were only using the oven, and it still managed to trip the RCD. And that is prompted some further testing on the spot. And what I actually found is that it's not something that I can show you, but here, because I'd have to get this dangerously hot. But this element starts to introduce a current leakage from the elements itself, from these terminals to the earth or ground of the circuitry when it's hot. So here I'm measuring from the circuit to ground or to earth. Well, would be an earth part if it was connected to the oven. And it's showing as open circuit, which is good. You don't want any current flowing, any sort of connection between these two parts. But when this is at full temperature, from having heated up the oven, then there's a very low path of resistance, very low resistance between these 2 points, meaning current is leaking out of circuit to earth and causing the RCD to trip. So that was a bit of a head scratcher that took me it didn't take me long to solve, but it was quite unexpected. I in the world of Occam's razor, the simplest explanation is usually the right one, or as one of my friends used to say, when you hear hooves approaching in the distance, think about horses before you think about zebras. This oven testing everything fine, and this measurement being good, and also when it was cold the first time I attended, this measurement being good, I thought, okay, it can't be the oven, it has to be something else. But on closer inspection, so 99% of the time when I attend an oven fallout call, it's something like this one where you have open circuit, it's gone pop, you change the element and you're back in business. But there are some tricky ones. Another interesting one, and this is not related to not related to an oven, but similarly critical machines for families, especially when guests are coming, is washing machines. And here's the heating element from a washing machine, and this quite a complex set of faults with this one. So the element itself was leaking to earth, causing an RCD trip. But there was also an issue with the RCD itself tripping oversensitively, plus some kitchen work had just been done. The very first time that the washer was utilized after the kitchen work has been done is when the electrics tripped. And so, again, with horses before zebras, I think kitchen renovations, doing work on electrical circuits by non-electricians, they've probably miswired something or trapped a cable somewhere. And sure enough, the socket that supplied this washing machine did have a trapped cable in it. So I rectified that, went away. Nope, sorry, it's still tripping. And when I came back, I did some more testing on the washing machine itself and found this element. Now, when I test it at the moment, here these center ones are the earth terminals, and then this is just like the way an oven element works. Current live coming in one end and neutral coming out the other. That is perfectly healthy. Going to be, from memory, I haven't tested this in a while yet, in the region of 2 kilowatts. But if I measure from the circuit to earth, I'm getting something in the region of 11-12 mega ohms. So at the moment, that's testing fine. Now, when I pulled this out of the washing machine, as you can imagine, it's soaking wet, and in its natural habitat of would have been constantly immersed in water. And we have these fibers and dog hairs and whatever else linking everything up, plus some corrosion on the heating element itself. This was testing far less than 1 mega ohm. So this was a source of some tripping. And what I thought I would do, because this is dried out, is get it wet again, get everything wet, and see if that we'll lower this. This might not work. I haven't actually put this in water since I brought it home. Yeah, there we go. So 0.6 and falling 0.63, 0.62 mega ohms, as you can see. So this is heading on its way towards a short between line and earth, and as you can imagine, I've just dunked that briefly in water. You can imagine if this is permanently sitting in water, how poorly that's gonna test. So yeah, washing machines and ovens, I think probably washing machines ahead of ovens or appliances, that when they trip, people want them fixed pretty quickly. A lot of the times it's simple cases, as I've explained, and what you want to be having is a nice clean circuit path around the element that corresponds to the rating of the element itself, and open circuit between the current and any earth parts. But in the various iterations that I've shown you here, that's not always the case, and sorting that out can help you to make your customers happy. Okay, hope you found this interesting. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for sticking with me if you've made it this far. Stay tuned for more, probably three more videos, I think, coming in the next couple of weeks. Thank you for tuning in, and bye for now.